Zuckerman, MassonSports.com.
Hey, Zim. So what did you know was going to happen today, and how did that play out compared to what you maybe thought or expected it would be like?
Yeah. I talked to Heather last night a little bit, and she was like, you need to do something. She tells me, and I talked to Al afterwards too. I mean, we're so conditioned to downplay everything and keep everything even keel. I mean, that's, what we're taught to do as baseball players. So, because I'm not sure really, I didn't want to make a big deal out of something, but the last couple of days with the pinch hits, when the fans would, stand up every time, and just kind of the energy and the feeling in the park, I think it was good to do that more for, I would say, them than me, I guess, is the best answer. Say whenever the off season comes and I do decide not to come back, I think I would look back at today and feel like I should have done something to thank them. So that's kind of what it came down to. I went in and talked to Davey when I got here today, and he said, let him do his job, because he had already planned to do something like that. But I wanted to do it for the fans and for the people in the stadium. Obviously I have a special relationship with this fan base and the community. And talking with Heather last night, I think if I do retire this offseason or I didn't do anything today, I would have regretted it.
Were you surprised at all by any of the emotions that you felt as it all played out, whether the first at bat or the removing from the game, any of it?
Not really. I mean, we're humans, man. We, this has been something I've done for a long time. I mean, I got here when I was 20 and I'm 37 now. So, for the better part of my life, really, this is what I've known and what I've done every day. So, we don't ever plan on that happening. I think it just kind of shows you how much this city means to me, how much the organization means to me. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was surprised. Ever since I've had two daughters, I cry all the time anyway. So, it's just part of it now. You just own it, pretty much, is how it works.
You did come up a couple of times with the bases loaded. Were you like feeling a little extra juice in those situations, knowing not just for you, but it's a big game for them and what this meant?
Yeah, no, I mean, and the atmosphere was so cool at the park this year, with obviously, them being right in the thick of it. Their fan base always travels well. Our fans coming out for a beautiful weekend, the last three games. So kind of to have that atmosphere was awesome to play those last three games, and obviously today too. But yeah, I mean, I had a couple chances, couldn't come through, but yeah, it was it was a fun game to be a part of.
You drew a walk.
I did. RBI walk.
Thank you.
Jessica Camarado, MLB.com.
Hey, Zim, for so many years, just coming to this ballpark is something that's routine for you. So what was it like coming to the ballpark today, being the season finale in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's obviously carries a little bit different meaning when, it could be the last time you come or the last time you get, come to the field and play baseball. We get to play baseball for a job, I guess, if you want to call it a job. Everyone always says, don't take it for granted. Don't, and I don't think we do take it for granted, but sometimes you get caught up in the grind and, you get into the routine and you don't really realize how cool it is to play baseball for a living. So, those things cross your mind. I think, I'm going to be a part of this organization one way or the other moving forward. So that made it a little bit easier. I think your teammates and that part of it is the hardest part, competing and playing baseball and being able to go out there and compete at the highest level for the game that you grew up playing is obviously awesome. But I think, the guys in the clubhouse, the friendships you make, the camaraderie, the traveling together, those things are what I think I'll miss most. And guys who have played for a while and retired are, they say that's kind of what they miss the most. So, yeah, I mean, driving in today, walking in today, you think about all that stuff, but, I'm pretty lucky to have been able to do it for as long as I have. So it's hard to have any, feel sorry or anything like that. I think it's an exciting day. My family was here. So if this is the last day, it was a hell of a day.
What does tomorrow look like for you? What does day one of an off season, potentially longer off season now look like for you?
My girls get on the bus at 7:45, so the alarm will go off around 6:30. So, I think that's part of the process as well. I mean, they're getting older. I have the ability to possibly be around more, which a lot of my parents didn't have that ability. I mean, most people's parents don't have that ability. We're lucky to be in the situation where I'm retiring because I'm old and I'm 37 with, my whole life ahead of me. A lot of people miss a lot of these years with their kids and their families. So, that's the biggest decision for me, honestly. Do I want to keep playing? I think I can keep playing. I think I had a really good year with the role that I was supposed to, to do. And, now it's a decision of, whether I want to keep doing that or, do I want to be around my family a little bit more?
Thank you.
Maria Torres, The Athletic.
Hey, Ryan. Davey said that play yesterday on the double on the routine fly ball is kind of what he pointed to as what he would remember about your playing career. How do you kind of want to be remembered as a player?
Yeah. That's just the way I was taught to play the game. It's the way I was taught to play the game when I started back home. I think, when I got called up, I was lucky to have some veteran guys that, said, this is how you play the game at this level. Don't take things for granted. I always remember something Derek Jeter said too, if I can run hard 4 times, in a game and I'm 40 years old or whatever he said, then so can everyone else. I just think you owe that to the game. There's millions of people that would give lots of things to be able to do what we do. And, did I run every single fly ball out? Probably not. No one's perfect. But I think, that's just the way I was always taught to play the game. And, I think it doesn't matter if you're 20 like I was when I got called up or 37 like I was yesterday. If you can't play the game the right way and you can't do that kind of stuff, then to me, it's time to get out.
And when will you reflect on everything that you have accomplished so far? Will it be after you make your decision or in the next couple of months?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll sit down and, now that, all this stuff has happened, I'm growing up only 4 hours away. I still am close with tons of people that I grew up with and played baseball with. And so I think the last few years I've started to reflect a little bit more. Like I've always told you guys, it's so hard to do it while you're still in it. But now you got a little time to sit back and, look at some of that stuff that I've never really looked at before and share it with my kids and my family. And I'm going to enjoy it.
Sorry. Howard Fendrich, Associated Press.
Hey, Ryan. Just quickly, were your parents here today?
Yeah.
And as you look ahead to making the decision on whether to keep playing or not, is it possible to sort of distill that down to one thought or sentence as to what's going to tip the balance one way or another for you?
No, I mean, I think, the only thing I kind of told Davies, I started the year around 50-50 and it hasn't gone up. That's the only thing I can say. I didn't want to rush to make a decision just for the sake of making a decision by this last day, because I really don't know. I still feel like I can be productive. I am lucky. I get to see my family way more than most people do. Most people don't live in the city that they play in. I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think a lot of people think, you know, we get to fly our families everywhere and do things, but a lot of guys make huge sacrifices to play this game, and one of those, probably the biggest sacrifice, is not being able to see their families as much. So, I mean, obviously, I think as we've talked here for the last 10 or 15 minutes, I think that's the biggest decision as to whether I'm going to play next year. Obviously, I think, we'll see what they do as far as being competitive next year as well. I've lost a lot of games before. Nobody likes losing, but like I've said, also, I've known Mike for a long time. I've known the Lerner family for a long time. They don't like to lose either. So we'll see, we'll see what they do. We got some good young prospects back from all those trades we made, and we'll kind of see how that goes. But I would say those are probably the two biggest factors when I sit down and kind of think about next year.
Thank you.
And finally, Olivia Garvey, ABC7.
Hey, Zim. You grew up so close to DC. You've been here for so long. Does it make it that much sweeter if this was your last game as a ball player? Does it make it that much sweeter to be so close to home saying goodbye?
Yeah, I mean, I think my situation and my whole career, growing up in Virginia Beach, going to the University of Virginia, getting drafted by this team as their first draft pick, really lucky just to be in that situation. Very rarely do you see people play for the same organization their entire career, not because the team doesn't want to or the player doesn't want to. It's just kind of how it works out nowadays. So, it's been my pleasure, obviously, but I think, the organization has taken some chances on me when I maybe wasn't the best player or the best person for the job. And, they stuck behind me even when I wasn't doing that well. So it takes sacrifices on both sides. So, yeah, I mean, I think it definitely makes it a little bit sweeter, especially nowadays, just because you don't kind of see these relationships anymore. There's a few still in the big leagues, but just the way the economics and all of it works out, it's just so hard for this to happen. So, I feel very lucky to be able to have played my whole career here. Like I said, grow up with these fans. There's people I'll be friends with long after baseball is over that only reason I met them is because I'm here playing baseball. So, yeah, I think it's been my pleasure, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Winston.
Hey, Zim. Not saying, well, congratulations on the season. But heading into the off season and possibly maybe being do you have a bit of advice for some of the younger guys? What piece of advice would you give to them?
Yeah. I mean, I just think you play the game the right way. Do the things that you're supposed to do, play hard every day. The people that worry about numbers, the people that worry about individual things, are usually the people that don't get to those numbers or don't win those awards, I guess is the best way to put it. I was taught, by my parents, by my coaches, by the veterans when I came up, to do the right thing and to play the game the right way, and everything will take care of itself. And that's kind of how I feel like I played my career. You come every day and you follow those rules and you give it what you got for that day. And, that's all you can do. You can't control much more than that. So, prepare yourself, do what you're supposed to do on the field, be professional, and, the rest is baseball. You can't control things. You can only just prepare and give it your best. And I feel like that's what I tried to do.
And what's that first postseason meal going to look like?
Well, I'll probably just order pizza or something tonight. I don't know. So I'm sure my family ate in the suite. So I'll whatever, pizza and some drinks and hang out and watch Tom Brady go back to New England. So
Congrats, man.
all right, thanks, Winston.
All right, thanks, guys.